It's 8 o'clock this Monday morning, the beginning of the work week. Very mild as you head out the door. Big difference from last week. We're taking a live look at a sunny downtown Buffalo from our Compass East cam, where much of the snow is melting away.
And good morning, everyone. I'm John Borsa.
And I'm Scott Patterson. This is your Morning Buffalo.
A lot warmer here. It's going to be a little while before we get back into the cold. Alex Zook has your weather on the One's forecast.
Morning, John. Yeah, we're going to see very mild conditions today, already exceeding expectations as we're seeing a temperature of 44 degrees as of the 8 o'clock hour in the city of Buffalo, and only climbing as we go forward from here. Mostly cloudy skies right now, but we're going to break out the sun as well, expecting a high temperature of 57 degrees with ample sunshine. We could either tie the record or surpass it. That is the record for today, so we'll certainly see how that pans out. But this is providing concerns for some flooding. Ice jams have already been spotted. We'll talk about all that coming up in just a bit.
Let's check in now on your Monday morning commute as you head out the door. A lot more traffic this week as schools are back open, right, Barry?
Yeah, but you wouldn't see it right here. Skyway looking pretty light, and so is the South Grand Island Bridge, northbound, southbound. Everything looks fine in both areas. We do have a stretch of 5 that's closed. It's Elmwood between Huron and Mohawk right now, and traffic was a big delay in the area recently, but it looks like it's thinned out some. 190 southbound, heading to the 90, you're doing okay. We do have a building fire. It is on Charles Street at William, and it is causing a little bit of delay in the area. Just be aware of that if that's in your travel plans. Slow right now at Walden, eastbound on the 90, heading up towards the Kensington. Kensington inbound full right now from Harlan in, almost from the 90 to the 198. We'll give you an update again soon on Your Morning Buffalo.
This warm-up is having a big impact on our creeks and streams. The before and after pictures say it all. Here's a photo of Cayuga Creek in Depew. That's on Friday. That's when temperatures dropped as low as 4 below zero. And then 2 days later with a high in the mid-50s, all that ice and snow melting away. A drastic difference. So Depew now under a flood watch like much of western New York from today through Thursday.
With this drastic warm-up, the state continues to pay close attention to flood zones in the area as the snow and ice from last week's storm continue to melt. In the town of West Seneca, they are breaking up ice in the flood-prone Buffalo Creek. Sandbags are out in the Lexington Green neighborhood, an area that's been hit hard by flooding in the past. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul says the state has learned from past weather events and is offering more excavators and water pumps to help deal with any flooding issues.
In the past, in order to do what's being done here today, you would have needed a permit from the State Office of Environmental Conservation, the state DEC. The governor yesterday waived that requirement. That gives the municipalities, like right here in West Seneca, the ability to do what they need to do to be proactive and move the ice without waiting for any government bureaucracy.
The town is asking neighbors to do their part and be on high alert. They're also suggesting people make sure their sump pumps are working and sign up for the town's Code Red alerts. The word closure means different things to different people. Some say it's like crossing the finish line after coming to terms with a life-altering event.
And for others, the pain of losing someone so suddenly makes a word like closure meaningless. Next week marks 10 years since Continental Connection Flight 3407 crashed into a house in Clarence Center. 50 people were killed along with an unborn baby. This morning, we are beginning a week-long series looking back at the tragedy, the toll it took on those who lived through it, and the impact it's had on the community and the airline industry. Spectrum News anchor Casey Bortnick sat down with 6 women who lost someone February 12th of 2009 to explore how they're living with loss and leaning on those who know exactly what they're going through. Casey's here.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Obviously, a very difficult situation for everybody involved. Last hour, we introduced you to 3 sets of sisters, all dealing with loss and the pain of going through what they've gone through. Obviously, we sat down with them, we spoke to them to learn about what they were dealing with, and let's hear more in part 2 of my reports.
Grief is an interesting thing.
There were people running everywhere.
Because it hits everybody differently.
It was a huge ball of flames.
There's no timeline for grief, and I truly believe that.
There was waiting for remains to be identified.
Well, there's 5,800 pounds of jet fuel that was in the plane.
Traumatic.
I don't think there's anything I can say to the families that would ease their pain.
This went on for months and months and months and months and months.
I didn't know if I would ever survive.
For those who had loved ones aboard Flight 3407, just starting the grieving process before their loved ones' remains were identified and personal belongings returned seemed impossible. But these women did have something unique working in their favor.
So many of us were local.
They had each other.
And they've gone through the same thing you have, and you can't imagine how comforting that really is to be part of a larger group that can all share in the same tragedy.
The support group expanded into get-togethers, dinners, even vacations and retreats.
We've bonded, and honestly, I wish they were my friends 20 years ago before this happened.
We're not the gray, dark group that comes and talks about the sadness. We don't talk about that. That's the part that's understood. 10 years. We can talk about it and we can, briefly go through it, but it's about something else and something bigger than that. And today, it's about today.
Well, that salmon sounds good.
This past Christmas, this group got together at a local restaurant to celebrate the holiday and mark 10 years since the crash that nearly broke them away from the bright lights and attention that's followed them.
A lot of us have the same personalities, I want to say. We just have fun together.
For these women, grief isn't something you beat or bury.
The word closure shouldn't be in the vocabulary. Honestly, I don't think there's a closure. I think you make peace with it.
The images and pain of that fateful night are always there. And some days, they come rushing back.
To this day, 10 years later,
State police or sheriff's department need to find out if anything is on the ground.
I can't believe that happened.
This aircraft was 5 miles out, and all of a sudden we have no response to that aircraft.
I can't believe that we all went through it.
But here among friends in this group of sisters, those memories quiet down.
We're standing strong today, and I just know Kev's looking down and couldn't be prouder that we made it.
And for one night anyway, the hole left behind by the person they lost doesn't feel quite so deep.
Your heart opens wider. You learn to love again. You learn to be happy again.
And to live life fully, because that's what our person would have wanted us to do.
To our sisters, love you girls.
And that's what we're all trying to do.
And honestly, we all feel like sisters.
All right, you may have noticed at the end of that piece, the sisterhood grew a little bit. Karen Malinsky, who was able to escape her Clarence home when Flight 3407 crashed into it, was a reluctant member to join this group because her husband was killed in their home on the ground, not aboard the flight. But she's come to embrace the support of the 3407 families. All right, Katie Gibbs sat down with Karen and share her story later on in the week. You saw Susan and Karen in there. They were able to follow in their sister's footsteps, Beverly Eckert, and became advocates for change in airline safety. Katie continues our series tomorrow right here on Spectrum News. Guys, back to you.
All right, Casey, thank you. 808 and Dash's Market in North Buffalo now moving to a new location, so the store is going to be closed for the next 10 weeks. The company is getting ready to move to a 47,000 square foot location at the corner of Hurdle and Starin. In the meantime, Dash's will provide free deliveries to customers who live in the 14214 and 14216 zip codes. Until the new store opens, you can sign up at the grocery store's website.
You may have been to the Botanical Gardens before, but it is a completely different experience during Lumagination. The gardens are lit up this month for the annual light show. Spectrum News reporter Mike Arena is live there this morning showing us what it's all about. Mike.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. And the sun has come up and it's a little lighter here at the Botanical Gardens, but there's still plenty of things to see and do. And I'm joined by Aaron Grajek. We're getting pretty close here. We are actually inside a big hot air balloon that's a part of this year's display. Can you tell us a little bit about, why this is here?
Sure. This year, Lumagination runs through February 24th, and this is part of the show. The theme this year is Magic of Air, and Lumagination happens after dark, and the whole Botanical Gardens is lit up with beautiful colors and lights and soundscapes and interactive features.
And as we take a look at the balloon, this is like a fun interactive thing for people to use, right?
Yes, it's a great photo op, great selfie opportunity. People love to come and jump right in this basket and take some pictures. So it's a great little addition to Lumagination.
And year after year, you guys do this event. Why is it so important for you guys to keep thinking of different fun ways to present Lumagination?
I think it's important to keep it interesting and different. People want to come back and see something new every year. So we are in the second year of a 4-year theming, and we are Magic of Air, and then we'll do Earth and Fire in the next 2 years. Just so when people come in, there's always a surprise waiting for them.
All right, very cool. So plenty of things to see and do here at the Botanical Gardens all throughout the month of February up until February 24th. During Lumagination, stick with us through the next half hour as we show you a little bit more as we continue our tour of the Botanical Gardens. But for now, reporting in Buffalo, Mike Arena, Spectrum News.
Everything is melting, and everywhere I went yesterday, you had to climb over the slush and then these huge puddles of water just to get to the sidewalk. Messy out there.
As nice as the warm-up is, and we like the warmer weather, yes, that's the unfortunate side effect. But hey, we're not freezing like we were last week. Not yet. So let's look at it that way. Alec, this is quite the swing in temperature.
Yeah, certainly. Nice warm-up to start off this week, but always some issues with this, especially when you have a cold snap like we did last week. Temperatures have been exceeding expectations quickly with cloudy skies this morning. 44 already in Buffalo, 49 in Pendleton, 50 right now as of 8:11 in Batavia, seeing 40 down towards Mayville, 43 in Jamestown, taking a little bit longer to warm up, but we are all going to see temperatures continuing to rise. The issues we're getting out of this, a lot of snow and ice melting, ice jams, flood watches in place for all the areas you see in dark green. This is in effect until 1 a.m. on Thursday, so for the first half and middle of this week, we are going to be continuing to be concerned about flooding taking place, seeing a flood warning in effect in central Erie County for Parkside Drive. We've been seeing across Cazenovia Creek, I should say, a little bit of minor flooding this morning, and also Buffalo Creek we are certainly concerned about. This flood warning is in effect until 4:45 p.m. today, so if you are driving in this area whatsoever, certainly exercise caution. If you see floodwaters, the motto is turn around, don't drown. Don't drive through any floodwaters that you see. But Sky Tracker Doppler radar, we are quiet. I have the clouds overlaid, lots of cloud cover this morning, but we're going to see clouds erasing as we get through the rest of this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies is what we will turn to as we go throughout the day. But a front that I'm concerned about passing through the Great Lakes right now, going through the overnight, this front passes through, and with it, it will bring some heavy rainfall, moderate to heavy. Most areas just seeing light rain, but we could see some downpours accelerating the melting process. That's going to only make things worse in regards to the flooding that we are experiencing. But temperature expected around 57 for a high today. That's the tide record for today. With ample sunshine, we could certainly beat that as well. Temperatures will fall throughout your Tuesday with that cold front passing. So starting off warm in the morning, but then we lose that ground, staying mild for much of this week, though, then colder for the weekend. A lot more with your 7-day coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Well, if you haven't filed your taxes yet, it's important you know about the new federal tax code. We'll tell you how that'll affect your potential refund.
Time now is 8:13. The Compass East camera pointed towards Larkinville and the rising sun. It's going to be a beautiful day. Get the car wash.
Yeah.
Spend some time outdoors. Yeah, for real. You're watching Your Morning Buffalo. It's 45 degrees. Good morning.